Welcome back to our course on Project 2013. In this section we're going to look at the status bar right at the bottom of the window there, and I'm going to concentrate to begin with on what's on the left hand part of the status bar. So let me just explain how the status bar works. If I right click on it, it brings up a sort of menu. It's really a list of properties, and with each of the properties, cell mode, calculation, macro recording, filter, auto filter, you can decide whether they're shown or not on the status bar. Now the bottom two properties, view shortcuts and zoom slider, relate to the right hand end of the status bar, and I'll come back to those in a moment. But all of the others would be shown on the left hand side. Now almost all of them are ticked, which means that their values are shown. But for many of them, such as filter, which is ticked, so its value is shown, its value is nothing. So the filter is shown, but it's empty. Auto filter is shown, but it's blank, it's empty. Roll up is shown, but it's blank, it's empty. So these values are all being shown, but they're all blank, they're all nothing. The exceptions are new tasks down there. Current value is manually scheduled. We'll be looking at that later on. If I untick that, then it won't be shown. Watch what happens on the status bar if I untick that. There we are, it's no longer shown, and now it's shown again. Similarly, if I go up to the top and look at cell mode, which is shown and its current value is ready, if I uncheck it by clicking, I now find it no longer says ready. Check it again, I'm now showing the cell mode again. Calculation is off. This is a bit of an exception really, because with calculation off it doesn't actually say off anywhere. We'll come back to that again later as well. And then macro recording, not recording. If I click on showing that value and I'm not recording a macro, then the little icon that just appeared on the status bar there indicates that I'm not recording a macro. Now later on many of these other things will make sense to you, and you'll decide which ones you want to show on the status bar and which ones you don't want to show on the status bar. So now let's take a look at the right hand end of the status bar. And what we have at the right hand end of the status bar are a set of buttons that we can use to switch between views of the current project. And we also have a slider on the right that generally determines how far zoomed in we are on timescales. Now the different views of the project that are available include the first one, which is the Gantt chart view. Then we have a task usage view, a team planner view, a resource sheet view, and then we have a report view. And later on, when we've looked at each of these types of view, you'll find in different situations that one or other of those views will be the most suitable for the particular thing you're doing at that time. There are in fact many other views available, as we'll see later, but these are the ones that are most commonly used and probably the ones that you'll want to switch between the most. Now we're in Gantt chart view at the moment, and the slider basically lets you zoom in and out in terms of timescale. So at the moment we're roughly in the middle, the slider's roughly centrally placed. If I moved it right over to the right, so that's zooming into the timescale, getting much closer, much more detailed in time. If you look at the times slots along the top there, you'll see that on the right we're now working at the level of not just a day in view, but the hours of the day, so we can zoom right in to a very fine level of detail. Back in the middle, each time slot is a few days or a couple of weeks or a few weeks, and then as we move to the left we start getting a whole month in a time slot. Further still we're looking at quarters, further still half years, and then you can go right over, you can go to the whole years. So the timescales zooming out and zooming in with the slider enable you to take a broad view of your project or a very close-up view of your project, depending on what you need at the time. So that's it, that's the status bar. We're going to be using that at various points during the course, and of course we'll be looking at those other views in a lot more detail later as well. That's it for this section. I'll see you in the next one.
Hi everyone, Simon here from Simon Says It. Thanks for watching this video. If this is your first time here, I'd love for you to subscribe. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, new videos are uploaded to the Simon Says It channel here on YouTube. Just click on the subscribe button right over there. If you're interested in taking your Microsoft Project 2013 training to the next level, you can get 19 hours of Project 2013 training offered by Simon Says It. Just check out the About section below this video with more details. We'll see you next week with additional videos.